Hey everybody, this is Corey with Stafford's EDC, and welcome back to another episode of Slipjoint Sunday. Today we're taking a look at another Rosecraft knife. This one is the Rosecraft Blades Savage Creek Gunstock. This is the RCT 014, and it is their gunstock pattern, which is, pretty obvious if you know your traditional patterns. You can see this handle shape is shaped like a gunstock. That's where it gets the name. Surprise, surprise. This has a shield of a spade here, D2 steel for the blade, black G10 covers, steel pins, steel bolsters. There is a brushed satin finish on these bolsters that's pretty well polished. There's some fluting as well, which is nice, and then everything else is kind of polished to match. It has a closed length of 3.625 inches or 3 5/8, 6.4 inches in overall length, and it weighs 2.7 ounces. Just reading from the website here, this is inspired by it's NON-XLL pattern. There's essentially a group that used to make knives back in Sheffield, England, a long time ago. We're talking, I believe, the early 1900s, if not in the 1800s. And they had a lot of patterns. You'll see another one of those videos coming up soon about another Rosecraft. And Andy Armstrong, the owner and designer over at Rosecraft, kind of reworked the design to bring us the Savage Creek Gunstock. You have a pretty aggressive clip point with some swedging on it. It is pretty aggressive swedging as well. You can see just how much that thins out as you get towards the tip. Ergonomics on this are really nice. I wear a large size glove, and I can still get my whole hand on here, pretty much no problem. Obviously no hot spotting or anything because there's no pocket clip, and I find for me that this gunstock pattern fits the hand really well. That little bit of swell and that little bit of bend that the handle has in it just gives you a more proper index on the lower part of the handle, and it really allows you to get into a nice saber grip with this. This has a half stop. It has probably about a 5 for the pull. Walk and talk's pretty good. It's pretty safe for use in the saber grip. Really not going to close this. I mean, you are really going to struggle to close that past your finger. But again, it has a half stop, so not something you have to worry about as much. Of course, though, don't go stabbing slip joints into things. Just be careful with them. Let you hear that snap closed. Good walk and talk. Now, I like the aesthetics of this one a lot, especially over in another video I did, which you guys may or may not have already seen. I talked about the Bow Creek Trapper, where it has this skull shield, which I'm not a huge fan of. Same thing with like the Chavez pocket clip. This, on the other hand, the black with the spade, I think is really nice. You could definitely do like a playing card series where you do inlays of the card suits. I think that would be something pretty neat to see. Maybe as like a, special release or something like that. They can do these in like a white G10 with that as well. Or they could do red, since they did black already, and that would obviously make sense as well. Instead of doing the suits colored, you would just do the G10 material. But overall, a really neat and really nice little Rosecraft. For the most part, the slip joints tend to be like on the medium to larger side. The Obed Creek Trapper is larger. The Beaver Creek Barlow here, it's kind of what I would put in the medium size, which you can see this is roughly the same. It's a little bit bigger, but just barely. And the Nola Chucky Jack is larger. I do believe that the Briar Patch Jack is larger, and that's all of the ones that I'm really familiar with, though I know they have other models out there. This one is a little bit thick when it comes to cutting. I found this not to be as slicey as something like the Obed Creek Trapper or the Beaver Creek Barlow, but nevertheless, it still cuts just fine. D2 is a good steel, and it's easy to sharpen, easy to maintain. You just don't want to have it super wet or anything like that. You could rust it potentially, but for the most part, you're really not gonna have any issues. Super nice to just have a affordable user type slip joint. G10 and all steel, you're not really going to beat this thing up too bad And this comes in at $59.99. It's currently out of stock on the Rosecraft website, but they just released this pattern this year, so I don't see this getting put into their vault yet, so to speak. It's a term that they have used as they've retired some patterns already, but I could see this one sticking around for a little bit, and at 60 bucks, it's a pretty nice option for you. Good pull, good walk and talk, solid ergonomics, and a really fine example of a Gunstock pattern knife. I'm going to leave this one here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. Any comments, happy to read them and reply. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Thanks again for watching, and have a great rest of your day. Take care.